date is February 26, 2020. The time now is approximately 13:22 hours. This is in reference to Orange County case number 20-017904. I'm currently located in my unmarked agency vehicle outside of yard in Orlando, Florida. In the car with me is my partner,
Scott Lower.
and in the front seat is, sir, can you state your name for me?
Torres.
And your birthday?
81.
Okay. And you are the brother to George Torres Jr., correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. It came to my, your parents had explained to me that you had a conversation with George a few days ago. Do you recall that specific date?
Yes. It was Sunday.
On Sunday. So Sunday, we're looking at the calendar together, the 23rd?
The 23rd.
Okay, so February 23rd, you guys had a conversation. Do you recall what time that conversation took place?
7:30. Oh, it finished at 7:30.
Do you remember what time it started? Do you by any chance still have it in your call log?
Does it do it when... So it had to be 7:30. Because when you call, it clocks it. It doesn't do it at the end, it starts it.
It starts it, and
so
then it tells you how long you talked for.
So it was 7:30 then.
Okay. If you do have it in your call log, I'd love to take a picture of it if you still have it.
That's Monday. Sunday right here.
So it'd be Sarah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
If you click, I'm just gonna...
Yeah.
There we go. Do you mind if I
Yes,
take
ma'am.
a photo?
No, it's fine.
Okay. And so it says you received an incoming call at 7:30, and you guys spoke for 4 minutes.
Yes. We was talking, I was playing dominoes with my kids and my wife. And at first I wasn't gonna pick it up. Then I picked up.
Okay.
Because they were always fighting and stuff with alcohol. So he started talking to me, he was calm, so I was like, oh, okay. So I put it on speaker. So my kids are there, like, they joke around with him, and he was joking around with them. And we're talking, and then he's talking to me about when we was kids. And then, like, a couple minutes after that, that's when I hear in the back start arguing with him. No, I have to call my brother. I have to talk to him. And he's like, no, I'm talking to my brother. It was her phone, so. And then she starts arguing and telling him that, no, tell him what you've been doing to me. You choked me, this and that. But he was calm. And he was like, okay, I gotta let you go. And then he said, I love you. And then I told him I love you. And basically that was it.
So she yells in the background, tell him what you've been doing to me.
Yeah.
You've been choking me.
Yeah.
Did you ask him anything about that?
No, because the thing with them, they would fight and they would hit each other. Because there was times he came here and she had hit him with a phone and he had a black eye. So it was like...
Did you witness that?
I didn't get to see it, but
Okay.
he told me himself.
Okay.
So
you guys know that there's domestic between the two?
Between them. And I told him, get out of there, get out of there. I would tell him, leave. And what's crazy is that he would leave, come here, and she would call and tell him to come back, and she would come and get him. Mm-hmm. So she had the car, he didn't have a car.
Right.
So...
You said that he sounded calm?
He was calm, relaxed. Like he would... I can tell because my brother's been drinking for a long time. Mm-hmm. We tried to get him help before.
Right.
And I can tell when he was like really drunk, and he wasn't that drunk that night.
He wasn't.
So when you're describing him as calm, that's an indication that he hadn't been drinking that much.
That he wasn't that drunk. No.
Okay. when he's been drinking, does he get really excited?
Sometimes he gets excited, and you can tell he like slurs his words, and he like, and I can tell like he gets really emotional, and sometimes starts crying and.
Okay. And none of that happened that
No,
night?
none of that.
Have you ever witnessed them physically fight?
I've seen them because I've been to their house and she's come out all crazy. I went over with my wife and they had called me to go over there. She had called me to go over there.
Sarah?
Sarah had.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I'll come over. That he wanted to see me. So I went over. And as soon as I get there, she comes out crazy because she saw some guy peeing around the corner. And she was trying to fight the guy and argue with the guy. And my brother was like, yo, calm down, B. Just calm down. And it was like, I went to that. That's why I would try to avoid everything. Like, I would call, whenever he called me, I talked to him. I tried to talk to him. But it was always, like, they were always.
Did she physically touch George, or was she just getting really upset and
upset, like she came out upset. But there's a person, I can't remember, somebody seen him because he was on a bike one day. And he told me, I can't remember the person it was because he was on a bicycle and she hit him with the car. And I can't remember who the person was. And he told me.
Okay. Have you ever seen any marks on George?
Yeah, around his neck, eye.
Like what kind of marks?
Like the time she hit him with the phone.
Okay.
He had a black eye, scratches all over his neck.
Would you see Sarah every time you saw George?
Off and on. Like, if I would go over there, I would see her with him. And then sometimes if he ever came here, I would see him. Or sometimes when I would go over there, he would just come out and I wouldn't see her.
So you more saw your brother than Sarah?
I think it was equal.
Equal?
Because I've seen her. Sometimes she had marks and stuff. So
and what do you mean by marks?
Like bruises and stuff too. They used to beat each other.
And where were her bruises be?
I've seen on her arm, black eyes too.
Okay. Did George ever confide in you about their domestic problems? Like, did he ever tell you? Is there anything else that he's ever told you about him and Sarah? Any arguments? Any physical altercations?
No, he didn't really like to talk about it like that. Like, everybody knew it.
Right.
Like, they used to come here and fight and stuff.
Okay.
And my mom wouldn't like it and tell them to go.
Right.
And I know one day she came, it's been like maybe like 2 months. My dad, because she always tried to hug everybody. And everybody didn't want to be hugging like that. And she pushed my dad, and my dad fell.
Yeah.
So.
Would they always, would Sarah always be intoxicated when you saw her?
Most of the time.
And what about George?
There was times he was not, he had drank, but he wasn't like drunk. Like he would try to like eat and try to have her eat because they was always drinking so much. So he was like, we need to eat something. But.
Did you, like a couple of years ago, did you and your brother have any kind of a falling out? Did you guys get into an argument, a fist fight or anything?
No. See,
has he gotten into a physical altercation with any of your brothers?
With Farrell, he did. The one that had the long hair.
The curly hair?
Yeah. With him, but it was just.
How severe of a fight was this though?
Nah, brothers.
Did he
Anybody go to the hospital?
No, nothing like that.
Anybody have like bloodied lips, broken noses, anything like that?
Broken eye?
No. Oh, he had with my other brother too, with Mo. George had went to the hospital.
George went to the hospital.
Yeah, George.
And it was a few years ago, like
Yeah.
2 years ago, maybe 2.5.
That happened because she said they was drunk. They was at my Mo's house, at Moses' house. That's the other one.
Moses.
Moses. His name is Moses.
Is it last name Torres?
Torres.
Okay.
He they had got into it because Sarah had came and said that she had George had beat her, and then they got into it. But I wasn't there that day. Moses he can tell you about that.
But George did go to the hospital.
George went. George was in the hospital for that.
Do you remember what injuries he sustained?
Something in his eye sockets.
The nose, maybe?
I think his nose too. But it had something was wrong with his like
Orbital?
the orbital.
Yeah.
What?
All right. Is there anything else that you think is important for us to know about your brother or Sarah and their relationship? I'm assuming the 4-minute conversation, he was just kind of like, you guys were just talking at first.
At first, just talking. I would notice that he was okay. It wasn't a fight.
You said he was joking with your kids, and then you hear Sarah in the background,
and then that's when Sarah came.
And then
into it.
you let him go, or he let you
he
go.
Said, because he was like, my niece and nephew are there. They can hear you, like. So I was like, he was like, all right, bye, and then.
Okay.
That was it.
How did she sound?
She sounded like crazy, like she always did. Like, she was always like that, crazy. Like, she would just start yelling.
Was she yelling any kind of threats or anything?
No. She was just saying about calling her brother.
Okay, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you promise and swear everything we've talked about has been true and accurate to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. This ends the recording 13:35 hours.